So we were at the PGA Dunes course. We're feeling masochistic today, so we're going to tip it out. It's only 6,600, and why not? And the first tee shot's no joke. It's about 300 to the bunkers on the left, so that's the target.
We like that drive.
That should be good.
And in addition to tracking green light drives, we'll be tracking two other stats today. Where we lose strokes to penalties, and how we do inside 100 yards. The first hole is all smiles, as we tap in for birdie.
Thank you. Thanks. Not with that drive, though.
Now, despite that ugly trajectory, the ball's in the middle of the fairway, and we're 265 out on a par 5. So we'll call it a green light drive nonetheless.
Chunky.
That one's not so good, though. And from green side here, we expect to make a 3 the majority of the time. And I leave myself with a pretty long putt here. And now it's a bit of an effort to make sure we preserve a 3 from green side. But lo and behold, we do.
Pulled hard left.
That's a red light drive. It doesn't leave us in position to reach the green. I do my best with the 7-iron here.
Ooh, bunker.
And now from this greenside bunker, we expect to make no worse than a 3.
Did not bite.
Unfortunately, the first one's long.
Thanks. Let me just knock it in there.
That's a good lag putt from off the green, and we don't lose any inside 100. Missing fairways is quite penal at the Dunes course. And this lie doesn't look so bad on camera, but in person it was pretty tough.
I could not get it solid. Very chunky.
Now from 35 yards, I expect to make about a 3 here the majority of the time. But we get that one nice and close, and we effectively gain one inside 100.
Thanks. Oh, Adam.
We're still searching for a driver swing today.
Where are you going to come down?
But fortunately, it's only led to a couple of bogeys so far,
Faded hard.
and nothing too disastrous. Mostly because we've been tidy here,
Bladed it.
but not this time.
Incoming big score.
Now we're in a really tricky spot. I'm afraid of hitting this one long, and I leave myself this.
So believe it or not, this is avoid triple.
But I do take my time to read it. The scorecard doesn't discriminate whether the putt's for birdie or for triple.
We'll take that.
And I tap in for double.
That's long left. Get over the trap.
Missing greens here is also penal. And from this tough spot, I'm expecting to make a 3.
Thanks.
But lo and behold, this one gets very close. And I snag one back inside 100.
So bad.
On a 590-yard hole, hooking one short and left of the fairway is one we'll consider a red light drive.
That should be good.
I hit a big roping draw here with the 4-wood and still have about 150
a little
in.
chunky, but if it runs up.
And here I'll give you a look at where you can waste strokes around the greens.
Okay, so we're going to try to crest it.
I'm picking a spot to crest my putt. My dad was in a similar position. He's the guy putting with one shoe. His first putt was bad, and he does what a lot of people do. Just gets up to his second one and whacks it. And it's going to lead him to making a 4 from the same position that I'm in. I, on the other hand, hit a good putt here, and will get out with a par. With the tuck pin, I'm just aiming at the middle of the green here.
I think that's long.
It's more or less on my line, but winds up in a bunker. And I'll expect to make about a 3 from here.
Thanks.
I hit a great one and actually give myself a good look at par here.
No.
But that's my first brain fart with the flat stick today. And I fail to make this testy one.
Uh-oh.
And it's a double bogey out of nowhere. Finally, we find something with the driver swing here, and we'll carry that one going into the back 9.
Chunked it.
I have about 230 in here, and it's a bit of a chunk. But from 30 yards, I fire a dagger here, and it will give me a look at getting out of the front 9 only 4 over. And we do.
Yes.
It's a pretty volatile card on the front, with 2 birdies, 2 bogeys, and 2 doubles. The driver wasn't cooperating for us, but fortunately we took no penalties, and on balance we actually gained one inside 100. So with that, and only 12 putts, we actually managed to shoot a respectable 4 over, and we'll try to take that momentum going into the back. This is a great drive, and for most of the back 9 we had the big stick working.
Thanks.
And we'll see how that translates to scores relative to the driver's performance on the front 9.
It's a little thin. It's a little thin. Oh, got there.
This is only our 3rd green in regulation so far,
I pulled it.
so obviously we'd like to get out of here with a par. But we missed this one. This is another great drive here, but 11 plays as stroke hole 1, and I'll still be left with a hybrid in. This one's a laser, though.
Should be.
Right at the pin, but it gets a bit of a bad break over the back here. And frankly, from that spot, I'm only expecting to make a 3.
That was a pretty weak effort.
We'll clean this up and start the back with back-to-back bogeys. I try not to judge a golfer by their performance in only one round. And in this round alone, I've gone from hitting the driver terribly to really finding a groove with it on the back.
Ooh, little short.
On the front, we gained a stroke around the greens.
Chill.
But on the back, we're off to a rough start. And we make a frustrating bogey here.
I towed it. It needs to go. Yeah, it's not going to get there.
I've been really guilty lately of grabbing an extra club and then backing off.
That was not hit well.
And even the second one here isn't hit all that well. And I have to confess, for a guy who's usually so good at staying in his routine,
I had enough of this hole.
I had it on this hole. And it cost me a triple bogey. And maybe that's still on my mind a bit here. That's my first bad drive on the back, and it leaves me in a really tough spot here. I muscle this one up to just short of the green. But watch where this chip slides. I have about 40 or 50 feet coming up the hill here. And this first one's actually a pretty good effort, and will leave me about 3 feet. But
Boy, when the confidence goes, does it go, eh? Like, what? How are you missing?
I left my frustration on the last green, and that's a great drive here.
That's right.
This one isn't terrible, but look how tough it is to get up and down from around some of these greens. And even though some of their courses got the better of me, I want to extend a huge thank you to PGA West. I showed up in the desert, and they took care of everything else. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I've saved some of my best rounds for last, and they'll be coming out soon.
Thanks.
We finally get off the bogey train there on 15, and 16's quite a challenge too.
Needs to kick left a bit, though.
I miss a bit short right of the green, and I'm not going to get up and down from here too often.
Pulled it a bit. Ooh, and it stopped. I pushed it.
The putt's not a great effort either, and we're right back on the bogey train.
Just pushed it.
As far as I'm concerned, this should be stroke hole 1 here. I hit an absolutely beautiful drive.
Hold the finish. So the drop will be 10 yards in front of me.
And for the second time today, we're dropping a stroke to the hazard.
Sit.
This one's over the back. And from where I am here, I'm probably expecting to make mostly 3s.
No.
So here's a new one. A triple bogey. And just like that, this round got away from us.
Oh, that's wet. Fuck. I hit it well, too.
It's not done getting away from us. Our third here is a pretty good one, and I'll actually have a look at a great par here. But look at this. I tell myself to hit this one firm.
Didn't hit it firm at all.
But I didn't. Getting the driver mostly working on the back was not enough to salvage this back 9. 3 penalties, but most importantly, after going 12 putts on the front, we were 22 on the back, losing a total of 5 strokes on the back inside 100 yards.